Number 8, discuss action on a privacy fence in the backyard of Dan Shea property at 203 North Madison, made from roof tin.
Yeah, I talked to Tim originally about putting this privacy fence up and showed him where I was gonna put it and stuff. It won't be as wide as my house. I told him I was gonna use like roof tin and paint it in dark brown so it looked like wood. And then after he left, I was talking with Gary and he said, well, he said, you better come and talk to the board about this. And so I guess that's where I'm at, and Shelley was talking to me about that too a little bit this afternoon.
In the zoning regs book, there is a regulation on it. I gave all of you a copy of that in your packets. 6E, there's a list of approved materials for fences in town, so I guess you have to make your decision from there.
What I read of that, it does not say steel.
And I am scared if you start with one, you're gonna have a,
I would be afraid of that, I guess, myself.
Okay,
If
so,
you put in a privacy fence, do you have to consult your neighbors? I mean,
as long as the setbacks are there. I think in the ordinance, or in the zoning regs, it says as long as it's your setbacks, you know, it's on your property, you know where your property line is. They don't make you observe the setbacks. It is advised that you observe the setbacks so that you don't come into a property dispute with your neighbor.
yeah, and I checked all that and stuff, and I'm inside of my house. I'm gonna be inside my corner of my house and stuff, no problems on that. And, I guess, you know, if the tin don't work, I'd like to get it approved so that I can get some kind of a privacy fence up so that I can keep my dogs, let my dogs out back there and keep them from barking if they see somebody. I got neighbors across the alley that, right now I just got a temporary deal that they let me set up with log panels. That for a temporary thing. And right now they go out and they see my neighbor's dogs across the alley with their pen up out there and they bark, and I wanna stop that. I wanna keep them from barking it. Keep the noise down, you know, I'm just trying to get my privacy fence pretty.
You have to say no with wood.
And
If you
then,
wanna not let your dog see something with that pine or whatever that is.
Yeah,
and then we just
Well,
need you to fill out a fence permit, Dan. I don't know, did anybody give you that
no,
yet?
no, that's Tim never said nothing, I just told him about it and he said, yeah, no problem. You know, as long as it's painted brown, like, looks like wood, won't be no problem. And then he left and I talked to Gary. I was like, oh, okay, I'm glad I didn't build this.
If you, I can get you that yet tonight, Dan, if you want
All right,
to make
sounds
another trip
great.
in
I
here.
don't think anybody has a problem with it as long as we stay with the materials. It's
Okay,
supposed to be used.
all right, all right.
Is that?
It has some good material in there, yeah.
all right, yeah, after Shelley said that, I went and priced what the panels would cost me and stuff for wood. So, I'm already looking into that.
I thought of that today when I seen it. I bet nobody's ever even talked to you about
Nope.
what we had, so, yeah.
Yeah, it looked a lot nicer.
Okay, so he's gonna not use tin, and he's gonna fill out a fence permit.
Yep.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Number
Don't need
9.
Anything else on that?
Patty Skeller to speak to council regarding trim light, programmable lights over the intersection of Main Streets.
Okay, so you know where the globe lights are right now. We'd like to, if everything works out, because we have to make sure with electricity, everything, we have to hook it up to Wi-Fi. but if everything works out, we would like to, change it. We got a grant for community, the Nebraska Community Foundation, that we can get to cover the lights out there. So that instead of what's, there was white, you can make them colored. You know, on game nights, you can have them blue and gold, you can have them red and white for Nebraska games, and just all different, you can do all different things with them, and leave them white like at Christmas time and that sort of thing. So, anyway, if everything works out, that with electricity and all of that, we'd like to replace them. And these have a lifetime warranty, and it kind of explains it all here. They're glow lights, and I don't know, you can dim them, make them brighter, whatever, but they're LED, so they should run very cheaply.
Didn't the library do something like this?
Yeah, it's like what the library has, only they're gonna be bigger.
Okay.
They're gonna be the glow lights, so.
So
anyway.
these going across the street, where the old lights were,
Right,
the Christmas lights used to
Right.
be? Oh, okay.
yeah, where those, that X is out there.
Yeah, that'll look like nicer.
So, anyway, but it all depends on the Wi-Fi business, if we can get it. We gotta get it all figured out, and somebody's gonna have to, I need to visit with Gary more about the electricity there, and, that sort of thing, so if everything's in place and we can get your permission, we'd like to replace them.
I don't think we need a vote, it's just,
Say, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
Perfect, but
Just that high-tech stuff is the problem.
Yeah, it's really not that bad, you can run it from your phone, you know, you can
Yeah.
set it up and it's pretty easy.
Okay, so you gonna let her do that then? That probably sounds all right. Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it. Patty, you can do it, yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, 10. Consider approve SDL for the Knights of Columbus, number 4707, for the dueling pianos at the Atkinson's Farmer Market, September 9th, 2023. That's this here. Okay.
does that make a motion to approve?
okay,
See a problem with it?
I'll second that.
Scott,
Roll call.
Riley,
Yes.
Jerry, Scott,
Yes?
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron, Helen.
Yes.
Okay, 11, consider approving SDL for the Knights of Columbus 4707 for a wedding dance at the Atkinson Community Center on August 26, 2023. Okay.
Same.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hold on. Chuck and Riley. Okay, Jerry, Scott,
Yes?
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron, Helen,
Yes.
and Riley.
Yes.
Okay, 12, consider approve a building permit for Mark and Victoria Johnson for an 8x41.8 wood frame addition to the residence at 109 West Lincoln Street.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, I think you said it was okay.
Yeah.
It's on the south side of their house, I think.
Southeast.
How did they come out with the easement, the street?
There is a street easement there. I am still waiting to hear back. I emailed Chad, help me with his last name. Is it Dixon? I can't think of his last name. I emailed him about coming up and doing the survey for the street easement. They said that there is definitely a street easement there. So we have to honor that, or, you know, that's part of it. And I told him that the development of it would be up to them. She asked about possibly closing the street, and I said that that is something that you will need to come and ask the council about. So, anyway, cause that's. But, as soon as the easement gets marked by Miller and Associates, which hopefully they will be up here soon.
We might just have to haul around tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know who else, always scared, I know they're busy right now, so I'm never sure who to contact next.
Is Robin aware of this going in there, or?
I haven't talked to him.
I haven't either. I know that the street easement has always been there, so I don't know if,
But I mean, if you look at the slope of his lawn coming onto there, it's going to change quite a few things there. I mean, I understand it is what it is, but
who would need to contact him.
I don't know. I can't answer that.
I mean,
Who brought it up?
Okay, Gary.
I nominate Gary.
I'll second that one.
I'll still talk to him.
I think it
I'm
would
gonna
be,
call-
I think.
I
it
think
would
we
just be
better
good-
just
good
because-
business to talk to him,
Yeah, I will.
so.
Until the building permit got approved, I didn't know, I mean, you can jump ahead of it type of thing, and then maybe it would have all changed, cause they had originally even thought about putting that garage to the backside, and then that would have been completely different, and then they talked about leaving it where it was, so. But I think now it's going to the west.
But like I say, if you drive by there, he's actually gonna have to put a retaining wall on his lawn. Cause it's sloped clear out into that street.
Oh, I didn't. So
If you dig all that out to actually make that,
Yeah, there was a storm sewer right there,
No.
they extended that and dropped it further south.
But those lot lines there are different, if you look at the survey. Robin's, I gotta remember this, Robin's lot is kinda cockeyed in there. And I can't remember if it slopes this way out or if it goes back this way. But somehow or another, there's a slope to his lot line there. But he would have to survey it on his
so
side.
you're saying maybe that street doesn't go exactly straight south?
No, but like I said, Vicky said something about if they could close it, that each person gets 33 foot, to each side. And I said, well, that's something you have to come and talk to the council about. I mean, is the street ever gonna go anywhere?
No.
So I guess that's an option that they could have if they wanted to, but.
Okay.
Oh.
So they're gonna have to see if they wanna close the street.
Well, if they wanna close the street, Mark and Vicky will have to come in. It doesn't change the fact that there is a street easement there. We just need to talk to Robin and let him know, because he may want to get his property surveyed so that, but Miller said that they can come in and actually survey exactly where that street goes.
Okay.
So we have to wait for that?
I was gonna say, do we approve the building permit without having the other done?
The street easement is there, I mean, that's a non. That's there, that's in the, correct, Michael, that's, if the easement is there. There's not a lot we can do with it besides if they would decide to come and want the street closed.
Right.
They can start their building, their contractors wanna get started on their footings and stuff. But it's not gonna change, I mean, if they push their garage to the west side, whether they close the street or not, you're still gonna have that easement there, whether you close the street and they get the 33 feet, or if you leave it open and you have a street through there.
We just wanna open up close the doors coming in from the north, if we're gonna come in now from the
West. I think the entry to the street is already there. Am I right, Chuck?
Yes.
Yes.
Or Gary, this entry to the street is already there. It's like, it's just never been, cause it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
But they'd have to decide how they wanna move forward. Either way, the street is there, that they can't, it's just if they would decide they wanna close it. But that would probably take, I don't know if it would take both property owners, or if one can, I don't know. I've never dealt with that.
So you guys gonna approve it, or table it, or?
Well, can we trust them?
Right now, the building we wanna have, do,
Can we trust them
is
to
all
do it?
within
The buildings that, where they wanna add on is on the south side of the house.
southeast side of the house. It is not even close.
Oh, okay.
It's just switching that garage around,
Right.
that's what's, if they can't switch, well, I don't know why they couldn't switch the garage around, because either way, the street is there. If the street goes away, then they'll just put a driveway in on their property. But if the street is, if they keep the street there, then the street will be maintained, and they'll make their driveway off the street. So either way,
Well, I guess I make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Scott,
Yes.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron, Helen,
Yep.
Riley,
Yes.
and Jerry.
Okay, number 13, consider approve a building permit for the Atkinson Betterment Corporation for the construction of a 58 by 56 wood frame home at 403 Paul Street.
I think Gary, you went out and
Yeah.
checked it
I
all.
went out with Wayne, he had it all staked out.
I hope everybody else understood the permit applications better than I did. The way they were written,
Oh. This one is, yeah, it came in one way, you see I have all the crossouts in there, and then Dan Kramer called me and said, no, this is the information that should be on there. So then I had to change it.
Okay.
now that I understand where it's at, and what it is, I guess I made a motion to approve it, so.
Second,
I'll second it.
Scott.
Roll call.
Chuck,
Yes.
Ron, Helen,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Jerry, Scott.
Yes.
14, discuss action on water system improvement project. It was in your packet there.
It's about half the amount of what it was when we started this project. I guess from the first bid that we received. If you look, I think they have it like at 560,000 is what the loan would need to be for. Gary, you can explain exactly what the project would consist of. Out of that 560,000, we have ARPA funding, which was COVID basically relief funding. We have those grants already in-house of $217,517. The loan forgiveness on this would be $154,000. And then that would just leave the remaining loan for $188,000. This would be at 0% interest this time instead of the, what was it, 1 point something that we had the last time. The same rules apply. 2/3 of it must be funded by the utilities, and 1/3 of it can be taken care of through general obligation bonds. It would include, this would just be an increase of like 90 cents per water meter. That's a big difference from the $3.66 from the last time. And then I would still recommend that we go up the $1 in October to help bring, as you can see on the one page, we operate in our utility department, water and sewer in the red. So that $1 was supposed to be every year, every October after the heavy watering season to try and bring that utility system out of the red. So I would suggest still doing that plus the 90 cents, but even at the 366, I would have told you to do the 366 plus the $1. The reason that they are going to this, where they want the utility departments to fund these, is because there are too many second-class cities and villages operating in the red on their utility department. They're funding it out of their property taxes that they receive. And they want the utilities to be self-funded. So that is the reason that they want 2/3 of the money to come from the utility department.
And you're all aware of where this project is,
That'd be up the alley from like the Roadrunner up to
up to,
Kyle's shop. Up like 3 blocks to the north.
yeah, we'll skip one alley, we'll skip your alley. There won't be nothing done in that alley. Then from Kyle's place, they'll loop it in there and go 2 blocks south.
What kind of line they using? Are they using that plastic flexible or cast iron
It'll be, plastic,
flexible stuff? Well, I mean,
a
they
little
can
bit,
kind
you can get a little bit, but it ain't gonna be too flexible.
of, they gotta get rid of that old line, or they boring?
They're gonna bore some of it, but, the old line will try to stay right where it's at.
It'd be a lot deeper than the old line? Or how deep are they going?
It'll be about the same, that way they can tie on,
6 feet?
yeah, 5.5, 6 feet, that way they can tie on this fellow's property. And there is one lot that there's no services at now, which we will put services there. For down the road.
Okay.
So Josh's block is already 6 inches, or does it need to be?
There's nothing, no, there's nothing there.
Huh?
There's nothing, Josh, he goes out to the west,
Oh, okay.
and, the old 66 station drops down, to the south.
Oh.
And, the house on the corner north of the old house ties in on that First Street.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We talked about this several meetings, we've got the deal cleared out, I still feel that we have to move forward at some point in time here and continuing, we're just taking a smaller step than we would have before. So if there's no objection, I would make a motion to approve this and let's get it going.
It will allow you to do it in smaller sections. There will be loans available or grants available in the future, I'm
Yes,
sure.
and we
There's-
will have more projects in the future.
We see more stuff, we see stuff coming out all the time on
Don't you
grants,
think,
so.
Gary?
Oh, yeah,
Don't-
yeah. Yeah, it's better do a little bit than not do anything at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll second it.
Roll call?
Ron? Helen?
Yes.
Riley?
Yes.
Jerry? Scott?
Yes.
And Chuck?
Yes.
Okay, 15, discussion regarding Bluebird Trail grant application.
I submitted the application to the Oakland County Visitors Committee, and you'll see the email that we received that they voted to table the grant until a later date to wait to see if the city gets other grant funding to help with the Bluebird Trail project at Millrace Park. So at this time, I guess they're waiting to see if we can find other funding as well. They would like to see some kind of, I'm sure, match, whether that is from other grants or from the city, just to see other investment. I did spend time on a couple of webinars learning about the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission grants. their minimum for our match on those two different grants that they offer is, one is 50,000 and one is 75,000. So those grants are for much larger projects than this one. So I was just reporting the information to you, to the grant I said I would submit.
Okay.
I know that there's other items I think Charlene is gonna keep looking at as far as grant funding. There's some different avenues that we haven't looked at, like NRD, and where else did you say, I forget?
NVB,
Upper Elkhorn, yeah, there's some avenues that we can still do some checking on, so we'll just report as we keep moving forward.
Okay. Alrighty then. Number 16. Discuss meeting date for September city council meeting.
So the next city council meeting would be on Monday, September 4th, which is Labor Day. So I'm hoping that we can move it to September 11th due to the Labor Day holiday, because I don't want to spend all day that day in here working.
No.
I don't need a voter, but I just need you guys to be aware of it, that it's okay with you guys.
It's okay with me.
Okay.
No, I don't have no
September
problem.
11th, okay.
17. Approved delinquent utility report.
Quite a little higher spend on it.
She's got a couple of LEWAP applications with the state to try and get rid of a couple of bigger utilities that are outstanding. So hopefully that could possibly bring it down about $800 if we could get LEWAP funding for a couple of them. So that would bring it down a little bit more.
Okay, and new, what's LEWAP?
It's a state assistance program for people who are having trouble paying their utility bills. It will help them with their water and their sewer, but not their sanitation. So it will help them pay water and sewer bills, but not their garbage fee.
Okay.
So the program was supposed to be coming to an end, but it sounded like they had quite a bit of money left. So Cheryl's still been pushing those through so that we can get some help for these people, you know, so that they can get zeroed out and back on track.
There's really nothing we can do about it, so we just go all through it. I make a motion.
Need a second?
Second? I will. Helen? Okay.
Roll
Helen?
call.
Yes.
Riley?
Yes.
Jerry? Scott?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
And Ron?
18. Approved claims as prepared. Did all look good to you there?
I make a motion to approve. She's still working on them, but
I haven't seen anything yet that's,
Get a second?
Okay, roll call.
Riley?
Yes.
Jerry? Scott?
Yes.
Chuck?
yes.
Ron? And Helen?
Yes.
Okay, 19. Announcements. Anybody?
I was just gonna make sure that you guys received my email that I put in my 2 weeks notice, and my last day will be August 18th.
Okay.
I submitted it to Shelley this morning.
Yes,
I was
I
gonna
was.
do it during the Super Bowl's monthly reports.
Thank you for.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda, for all you did.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Scott?
I just want to make a statement regarding, regarding last month's meeting. The remarks that were made towards the city council should in no way reflect her employer, Sand Hills Guest House. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Rhonda, anything? Will?
I'm here, Gary's talked to me about the sidewalk.
Okay.
know you about that sidewalk? You gonna talk about that at all? You told me to come to the council meeting.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put a approach maker for handicap? Or cut the curbs down?
No. And the reasoning being, it's 30 feet away from the driveway. That's, you can get up if you're in a wheelchair or walker or what have you. One side,
I know the west side ain't worth a darn,
right.
but the south side ain't
Driving
bad.
out, you're gonna just end up replacing probably the whole intersection.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you, someday we gotta take that all out anyway and do everything, right?
But I don't think now's the time to do it.
No, but down the road. When you get, that was all broken up when we had our spring water going there.
Right. So for now, I think, you know, we got the sidewalk put back in, I think that's great.
Well, yeah, but got enough for Cal or Jim? Scooter?
Well, I guess if there's a problem, and you
No,
want
I
to
think
handicap,
you
I
can-
guess we can go ahead and get the south one ground out to make it handicap,
Yeah.
and just leave the other alone.
I don't know, he's been twirling around the streets and everything, but we always keep an eye on him,
Yeah.
but we don't have to have a nosedive.
No, that's
You don't,
not.
he can see, can he, man?
Oh, yeah.
He can see real good.
I guess my question to the council is everybody else gonna be made to put theirs back? You've got one to the north there that took it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in this, but maybe when I get,
I'm sorry, you're not to the north and I wasn't talking about you.
oh, well, I'm from,
You're south. The north is Cambris there and
Right.
there was a sidewalk there. You just made six pack, put a sidewalk back where there was one. I think it's a slippery slope if you don't require everybody to put them back if they were out. I mean, I know you can't go back 20 years, I'm just talking your recent. That sidewalk at District 21 was always gonna be put in, but the reason they didn't do it is because Gary was gonna tear the intersection out. So we thought there's no use putting the sidewalks in until the intersection's tore out, then they put them back. Well, when that didn't happen, I talked to Gary a year ago and he said, we're not tearing that intersection out. So I just said, let's just go forward with it. If you guys wanna require us to cut those curbs down, we can. That's the reason we stopped. The cement was supposed to be poured this morning. So we put a stop on it.
Right.
Probably have to have Dan or somebody come and grind them, but if you prefer that, that's one of the, we'd like to know that. But then, I'm gonna be talking to you about some of these others then.
Right.
As it was left at our last meeting, Leo, I think, and Ron is not here to back me up on this, but we have come kind of to the conclusion that if we're gonna enforce it, it's one for all for one. We've got to do everybody's.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some static, I understand.
Yeah.
We have the ordinance, but I don't think we should be able to require you to put in any more than what you took out. Other than, am I wrong, Gary, if you put a sidewalk back in, it does have to be 4 feet?
Well,
Yeah.
for ADA.
And some of them, I don't think the older ones were
Probably.
4 feet.
No, we're more than happy to cut the curb down if that's what you want. I guess that was the way I kinda left it with Gary, was tell us what you want. It's gonna require,
Was the curb cut down previously? I mean,
No.
there wasn't a curb there, or?
no.
there wasn't, no, but they rebuilt that south side up a little bit. Where it was all broken, that corner is shit.
The thing is, you want the ADA, but the slope is not gonna be there. It's gonna be too much of an.
The slope's not ADA
You're
compliant.
not gonna meet the specs anyway, so I don't see why we cut the curb down.
Right.
Am I wrong?
No, that's my feeling. You get somebody on there and that slope, I would just soon have them go up another 30 feet and go in that right on the sidewalk and go. Has to be on one that's too steep.
I was gonna ask you, Scott, on the east side of your, you gonna fix that up, that sidewalk on the east side of the curb by Dostals? Then you have a
Fix it?
cut,
What do you mean?
is it cut off there at the curb?
No.
Yeah.
You mean the sidewalk on the east side of,
No, the north side. No, the south side, damn it. The south side from Sears going straight east.
It's got a curb on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
where are we talking at for sure?
your part.
I didn't take any sidewalk out.
No, but you stopped there and,
No, it's all there.
It's all there. There's sidewalk. All the way up and down the east side, all the way up and down
oh, okay.
the south side of that block. It doesn't stop anywhere.
The only thing he might be talking about is
It's
that
where on the
possibly
edge,
the sidewalk has pushed
over the curve.
out just a tad bit on your southeast corner of your property.
That the sidewalk is pushed out?
No, it's just,
Then it pushed out the curb.
yeah,
Just drive
Oh,
past there, you'll see what it's.
There's a curb missing there, yeah.
yeah. That's
I was
okay.
thinking maybe snowplow hit that.
Yeah.
Hell no.
That's what But yeah, there's a curb
Knocked
missing.
out.
The sidewalk's all in place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
But there's about 3 or 4 foot of curb missing.
I know, this is what's gonna happen with this sidewalk situation, it's gonna be boom, boom, boom.
Dave,
I
you
had a question, Councilman Creasel asked this a while back. These places that are building and creating driveways onto their into their places, by statute, by our ordinance, you have to have a 10-foot concrete run into their driveways. It has to be consistent with what the actual street is. So if it's concrete, you can't have a gravel approach into your,
Right, you want to drive a curb out for a driveway, you got to force it.
you gotta pour 10 feet in, or whatever it is, yeah. And he had mentioned that that was part of the city ordinances that he wanted if we're gonna do. Like, well, there's tons of them. We go down Neely, there's
Oh, I see what you're
3
saying.
or
yeah,
4 of
yeah.
them, the one over here.
Yeah.
That's where
But
my
again,
driveway,
you gotta be
10
careful
feet
for
in,
what you
Yeah.
want.
slopes down, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta have
I
whatever.
understand, okay. Isn't the 10 feet there, the city owns that, but where the water shut off is?
I don't know
See,
that,
that's where mine,
but you've
the
gotta
water shut off
have,
is right
you have
on
to
the
have the
edge.
same as what it's. If it's concrete street, you can have, well, that's the only thing it is it's all concrete.
Gotta be 10 feet away from the curb, right?
Yeah. You just can't have your approach, if it's concrete street, it has to be a concrete 10-foot in.
Yeah.
If you're on any other type of street, you can have it whatever how you want it. And he was mentioning that we're gonna go after city ordinances on sidewalks and stuff, that we should go after that too. Well, that's gonna be
There's quite a few.
tons of them.
Every one of them on Paul Street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not concrete though.
Well, that's,
It has to be, it has to be, it has to be cemented.
I agree with
I mean, I
that.
talked the
And
south
that's
side.
ordinance. At some point, you're gonna have to enforce
South.
it.
Cause we're getting new ones, people are building new things along Neely Street, revamping houses that should have that if we're gonna. You know, it's just one of those city ordinances that we can't do one if we can't do all of them,
I got it. You're talking about these sidewalks and they gotta be 4 foot now, right?
yeah.
Okay, so in front of my house there, we had to take that part out.
Yeah, I see.
And I'm waiting for it, it's still settling, and I'm adding more dirt and letting it settle and stuff, and I'm gonna be replacing that whole sidewalk in front of my house there. Okay, so I'm gonna have a 4 foot sidewalk in front of my house, that's gonna hook into that little bitty sidewalk that's on each side of mine.
Well, see, aren't we gonna enforce that? Anything that's grassed over, or broken up?
I
Are we
mean,
gonna enforce that?
Yeah.
At this point in time, no, Scott, if there's a sidewalk there,
Okay,
if it's broke up,
I just go back with my 4 foot,
go with
just
your
leave it
4
the way
foot,
it
because
is.
you took it
Okay.
out and you're replacing it, that's the way I understand it. is-
Okay, I just don't wanna get in trouble with it being looking weird.
Maybe that'll prompt the neighbors to do theirs.
Yeah, well, that's very true.
Yeah.
Plus 3 blocks north of me.
Okay. Anything else? Dave, any? Grant, anything? Jimmy? I got something on the positive note. I caught a 28.5-inch walleye Thursday night. Yeah, my name's on the board, so.
You on the state now? State board?
That's something positive, so, okay. Anything else?
Yeah, where'd you catch it?
Right here.
Anything else from anyone?
Wanna do your report,
Yeah, I got our GMC truck. Well, we've got it loaded with cement or some dirt or what have you. Will not lift up. Now we haul trees and what have you, it works. So I do not have to pump this back or if the cylinders or.
Thought we just put a pump on,
They had built
Just
it,
overhaul.
rebuilt it.
so it didn't leak, yeah.
Did you put too much weight on the front of it where it can't lift it?
No.
It should lift anything.
How big is it? Is it 1 cylinder, big one?
It's a stage cylinder, it should lift.
It should, yeah.
And then, oh, okay.
So I guess, we need to have somebody take a look at that situation.
Can you take the loader and help it up and run the hydraulics?
Maybe have someone just come do test that pump. put the
Yeah.
gauge on it.
What was the thought? You know, somebody can test that pump.
Put pressure test on it, see what's doing it.
Just make sure it's not
Make the
slipping
slide
by.
passes.
Right.
And it
Okay.
has fluid, right?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make y'all aware of that.
Yeah, have someone just put a gauge and. Anything else? Okay. 20, monthly reports from the department supervisors, library, ED, water, sewer, streets, parks, Woodlawn Cemetery, community center, fire, defense, police. Okay. Jimmy?
Yeah, a little bigger than this.
submitted my report
Okay.
with our activities through the month of May.
What'd you say?
I submitted a report for our activities for the month
Oh,
of
all
May.
right, all right. I didn't think it was for the second part.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Well, if there's nothing else, I guess, motion to adjourn.
I'll make the
You
motion.
got number 20.
Okay, roll call.
Jeez, you guys. Let's see, Bradley, you seconded, Ellen made the motion. Jerry, Scott,
Yes.
Ron, Chuck, Helen,
Yes.
Riley, okay.
Adjourn.